Hello everybody, and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. On today's agenda, we have something called the Prometheus, spell it right, Plague. None of those are it. There it is, Prometheus Plague. Wayland corporations organized an expedition to find the truth about the creation of the human race. However, they came back with no answers, but instead brought back something else without knowing it. Mysterious black liquid creates deadly mutations which depend on the organism they encounter. Alright, so Prometheus, of course, the titan who brought fire to humanity and then was condemned to Tartarus, chained to a rock to have a vulture, or was it a hawk or something, eat his liver every day, and then it would grow overnight, and then the liver would come. It was just endless torture because Zeus was angry that he gave humans fire because Zeus is a big jerk. How this is going to relate to a black liquid, I'm not sure, but it'll be interesting to find out. ATP boost, genetic, mimic, aquastar, extremophile, and symptostasis for the parasite, normal difficulty, chemical A03959X.91. Black liquid got into the first living organism. It's highly dangerous and lethal. First mutations are likely to happen in the next few hours. Will the humans be able to stop it from spreading and killing everything and everyone? It's your job to make sure they won't. The disease is very lethal, but not so much infectious. Symptoms traits are not your main priority here, as they only affect humans. Use the abilities and transmissions to ensure your victory. Remember, liquid mutates every living organisms, from worms to humans. Okay, so not symptoms, huh? Transmissions. Artiodactyla. That's one heck of a word. Disease that gets to Artiodactyla animals to make them more aggressive and protective over their space. Worms. Increase the size of worms and change their DNA structure. Okay. Birds. They spread the disease, killing everyone who is not them, because they kill everyone who is not them. That makes sense. Rodents. Yeah, that's a terrifying looking rat. Rodents are mutated into ugly-looking animals. That implies they weren't ugly-looking animals to begin with. They are fierce and dangerous, increasing infectivity in urban regions. Dogs transformed into aggressive and rotting-looking creatures. They attack people and infect others. Insects. Being dangerous creatures, they carry the disease and spread it among the organisms. Okay. Symptoms. Conjunctivitis. Eyes become red and bloody. It is not very noticeable. Becomes very noticeable. Slightly slows down the cure research. Skin infection. Helps spread it a little bit around. So I thought this was very lethal, because it doesn't seem very lethal. DNA enriching. Unlocks some of the traits for the disease to evolve. Okay. Cold resistance, heat resistance, water alteration. Black liquid can easily survive in the fresh, warm water. Despite that, pathogen gains the ability to double its numbers to infect more organisms. Despite that? Despite would imply that it can't survive easily, yet somehow continues to thrive. I don't understand what you mean by that. Alright, so let's go for the DNA enriching. That leads to transformation potential. Liquid finds the path for the further development and transformation of the genetic code. Unlocks level 2 transmissions. Well, let's worry about level 1 first. DNA acceleration. More evolutions. No new symptoms. Nothing new there. Alright, well, the lethality is a little concerning, but it looks like it's intended to increase lethality almost no matter what I do. So let's go for that. Begins in Saudi Arabia. We're going to start with all the birds. That's reasonable. There's a little bit of lethality right off the bat. Little concerning. Let's go ahead and bump to speed 3. The year is 2096, by the way. I just realized we're a little bit in the future. And the population of the planet is still only about 6.8 billion. I kind of would have expected to hit like 40 by then. Exponential curves and all that. Let's go for the rodents, good in the urban regions, but it's all I can afford at the moment. That little bit of lethality is a little on the concerning side. I'm going to go for the worms because it doesn't give me more lethality. Everything else currently does, though not very much the Artiodactyla. So maybe we go for Artiodactyla next. We'll pick that up. Lots of severity is a bit concerning for me, though. Quite concerning for me, because that means they're going to start curing me a little faster than I'm ready. Dogs... Insects, all good, but let's instead go for, I guess we're going to go ahead and grab the insects. I mean, we're going to have to just accept the fact that there's going to be high severity and high lethality. It does make things difficult, but we'll see what we can do. And you know what? We'll also pick up the dogs. There we go. All right, some people are finally starting to die. The animals are coming to tear them apart. Let's go for the skin infection next. That leads to toxic breath. Disease can be carried with the breath of the carrier. It can't survive long enough on its own in the air. Carrier has to be close enough to infect others. I'll pick that up, sure. Saliva. Pathogen replicates faster in salivary glands, increasing the chance of infection through contact with saliva of the carrier. Stop kissing each other, you perverts! French kissing is disgusting. All right, anyway. We're getting around now in Europe a little bit. Oh, we got into France. Well, I know what they're going to be doing. Well, there's now sex, leading to the desires of sexual acts highly increased. It seems to me that the author lied about saying don't go for symptoms, because it seems to me that's where a lot of the infectivity is coming from. Like, better than transmissions without the downside of all the lethality. We could slow down the cure research speed, but I don't think that's a very high priority. Let's go for the drug resistance and some cold transmission. Or cold resistance, I mean to say. Saudi Arabia starts working on the cure. Pick up another level of that. Hardening's all well and good, but I think instead we're going to go for water alteration so we can spread a little bit faster by biote. Should be fine. I would like to get another level of drug resistance. Then we could go for DNA acceleration if we want to go ahead and get some more symptoms and or transmissions unlocked, which I think makes a fair bit of sense. We are getting a hefty amount of DNA every time we get around, which is great. DNA acceleration unlocks, I thought it would unlock new stuff, but apparently not. That comes from the transformation potential, which leads to body burster. Really? Rodents are changing into the worm-looking creatures. Their main goal is to spread the disease and infect people. So we've just gone full alien here. What's this? Bull xenomorphs. Oh, it is going full xenomorph. Prometheus! Like the of course! How did I not pick that up? Artiodactyl animals are transformed into xenomorph creatures with horns. It's a freaking alien scenario, and I didn't even know it. Worms become aggressive toward other organisms. Okay. Volantomorph. I don't know. Avian brain tissue gets compromised, causing birds to mutate into different creatures which are dangerous and aggressive. Quadruped. Infects or infective ability. Lethality. Arachnoid. Mutated insects transform into flying creatures and gain the ability to spread the disease across the country borders. Sounds great. Body bursters, surprisingly, not very lethal considering what they are. Oh, how have I been deceived like this? How did I not know it was an alien scenario? I didn't, though. I really didn't know. Well, that's fine. Not that alien's a bad thing. It is. It's just I got bad tastes in my mouth from the Rise of the Xenomorph scenario, which upon a second playthrough, I don't know if everyone realizes, I did play it a second time, and it's actually really quite good. It's just... the first time I played it, I got kind of harassed a lot because I didn't like it at the time because I made some mistakes and didn't understand how the scenario works. All right, we could go for reproduction, which go ahead and gets the special eggs. We go for water homeland, which is okay. Then we have DNA enhancement, unlock the rest of the traits. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Nothing here. Apparently we have to go down the conjunctivitis route. So we'll do that. Slow the cure research. Unsteadiness slows again. Precox aging. Skin becomes pale and dry. It's starting to age faster, so are the organs of the carrier. Unique symptoms slowing down the research rate. Okay. What are we missing at this point? Greenland and the Caribbean. Uh-huh. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab water homelands. Then the ability to recreate itself in the water, highly increasing infectivity rates and slowing down the research speeds. All of which is quite good. We're in the Caribbean. The question is now, are we going to get into Greenland? And the answer is a resounding yes. All right, so now we need to start killing people. What gives me the most lethality? Looks like the bull xenomorph or the arachnoid, which is fine. Let's go for the bull xenomorph. That leads to human adaptation. Mutated organisms adapt to the human organism, thus making it possible to reproduce itself through people, increasing infectivity and lethality. Mutation patterns were extraordinary. It should have set back the cure, but it doesn't appear to have done very much to begin with. We're in every country at this point. We have so little lethality, it doesn't really do anything. I'm a little concerned that I'm going to have to redo the scenario because we just don't seem to have enough DNA to make this work. Transstasis is actually probably more my friend in this particular scenario, so that we would be able to ramp things up when we so desire. Still nothing we can get there. And that cure is pretty darn potent. If I go for precox aging, this leads to change of personality, which does actually ramp up the lethality pretty heftily for 15 points. But at this point, I'm kind of going with too little too late, because we're really not getting much of anything. Actually, I think we may have to go for the catalytic switch to get enough DNA to make this work. Potentially. Infectivity, it turns out, is not so bad. All right, I have to restart the scenario, but we will try ramping up the lethality, going a little bit faster, and if that doesn't work, then I have to restart and go for the catalytic switch and the transstasis. Well, maybe we're actually going to be okay without going for the transstasis. We're not having actually too much trouble. Turns out going for the water route pretty early is not half bad. Lots of infectivity. Going down the symptoms route for at least the infectivity works out well. And I haven't even had to bother with any of the xenomorphs. It's totally irrelevant at this point as long as we're not killing too fast, which it doesn't look like we are, so I think we're going to be fine. Though we do have to be careful. Dexterity advancement increases the dexterity of the carrier, making him quicker and harder to kill. Capable of jumping high and moving between buildings. Bone amplification protects him from bullets and weapons. Strength advancement. Disease increases the muscle level of the carrier, making him stronger, more dangerous, capable of lifting and throwing heavy objects. So instead of xenomorphs, the black liquid is just creating a bunch of Supermans. Or potentially like Venom from Spider-Man or something, because we've had a lot of Venom scenarios lately. Not Spider-Man scenarios, but you get my point. Let's go ahead and pick up Strength Advancement, Bone Amplification, and Dexterity Advancement. And I actually may need to go for another level of drug resistance because we're having some trouble in Canada, which does concern me. So let's fix that so your healthcare system can't stop us now. Ha ha ha. What are you going to do? Answer's nothing. Most people are just straight up dead now. As long as we don't kill too quickly in Canada, we'll be fine. Here comes the exponential growth. Looks like we're fine here. So let's go for the Genetic Hardening. Actually, Genetic Reshuffle is what I meant to pick up. Anything to slow down the cure. Guarantee the win. Yeah, the symptostasis works very fine. Just freaking ignore the transmissions. Get what little you need, but it really doesn't do a whole lot for you. Symptoms are just fine. There's plenty of lethality in this area to win the scenario by itself. All right, yeah, it's actually not a half-bad scenario. I am a little curious how the black liquid ties into the alien lore in Prometheus, because I don't really remember that in there. I mean, again, I've been out of the alien scene for a very long time. So these are things that probably most people know, but I don't, which means I'm going to get roasted in the comments section because people like doing things like that to me. I'm being facetious, of course. It doesn't actually bother me all that much. It's perfectly fine. I mostly just like joking about it at my own expense because it makes me look stupid, and people like self-defeating humor. That's correct, yes? Maybe? So by all means, roast away. At the end, you're only making me stronger. And we're about to destroy humanity. 500,000 left. Come on, please die a wee little bit faster. What if I sick the giant rats on you? Would that work? Maybe. Or we could just stop pausing and just wait until the last couple of thousand people die. There they go. All right, the chemical destroyed all life on Earth. 472 days, 47% cure progress, almost 50,000 points, and 2 stars. Again, a little on the slower side there. It is just, the transmissions are misleading. I'm not sure why the author said you don't want to go for symptoms and stuff because it affects humans. I mean, that's fine with me, though. Like, you could argue that it's 2 different types of scenarios. One that affects all animals and creates xenomorphs, and another disease that affects just humans. You could play it totally 2 different ways. I find the human stuff works very well and might be just as fun, if not more fun, because I kind of like it. Thank you all for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed. If so, then be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.